Yep. My balls is totally moving, new and improving. How can we get back up? I got the heart and desire. My balls are on fire, ready to take us to the top. Welcome to my show. Did you know that your mom is a whore? Oh yeah, welcome to the show. I was gonna do a kickflip, but I got sore from slamming the other day doing a kickflip, and then I just get too busy to do steroids. I'm not really sure about doing steroids anymore. It gets weird. Not steroids, sorry. Testosterone replacement, because I'm older and I used to be in action sports, and I guess my balls hit the side of my leg or some shit that does. Apparently skateboard people and moto people are more prone. I call bullshit. I feel like I might have just met like some jock that knows a jock that knows a doctor who's a jock that was like, you should definitely do TRT replacement and be even more jacked than you ever were before. And I was young enough to be like, yeah, because it's going to help you with your sleep. And I was like, I don't remember actually getting any better sleep. I remember at one point I was working out and it would make me sick if I worked out too many days in a row. So I feel like that was the real reason, because I'm like, wait, why do you keep getting sick all the time? But I also feel like because of the pandemic and everyone wearing masks, I don't really get that. I don't get sick because nobody has germs to touch me. I guess my kids probably throw a couple every now and then. But from that heart thing, I just did not feel good about stabbing myself in the leg anymore. And then I know Mike Catherwood, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. You mentioned a long time ago about being a little bit more regular instead of once a week, trying to get it in there a couple of times. And as a guy that started to get bummed out about doing it once a week, doing it twice a week sounded like a fucking nightmare. I feel like the anxiety when I know that the day is approaching, I'm nervous the day before because I know that tomorrow morning I'm going to stab myself in the leg and I don't like doing it anymore. And I've got to do it for the rest of my life, I'm told. I guess I could you could rub cream on you, but I say that is bullshit. I don't believe testosterone cream does enough. And I feel like that also makes hair grow wherever you rub it in.
It worked for Barry Bonds.
I don't believe Barry Bonds. I mean, the guy lied in the first place. Why wouldn't he lie again? You're saying he only used the cream?
He used the cream and the clear.
Yeah, I don't believe him. I think he is like a crazy liar and injected all the best stuff he could get right into his ass or wherever else he felt that it worked.
You can cheat. You can do it also right after a shower. Makes it much easier. The skin is so much. Pin yourself immediately after like a hot shower.
Because you're hot?
No, yeah, the skin is much more pliable and.
I mean,
and
it's not so much. It actually turns out where it's not even really painful. It's just.
It's
a couple of times in my life. I know that testosterone is not good for people that have heart problems. I've been diagnosed with a heart condition, but he also said, you know, what you do with your amount of testosterone shouldn't do anything. He said shouldn't. Would I prefer that you were completely not on it at all? Yeah, I would. Which tells me, man, if I could, I would probably not do that. But I also know that how busy I am and the things that I love to do all the time. Like if I want to skate, surf, and then lift weights in the same day, you better be on testosterone replacement, Jason, or you'll be tired.
Yeah, you can get off, but you better talk to your doctor when you do it. And there's things now that are genuinely effective. Are they as effective as real growth hormone and testosterone? No, but there's peptides and things. And
I heard there's HGH things that are compatible to that are less dangerous.
CJC 1290, a lot of people really like that, mixed with epitalon.
Yeah, I'm hearing about some stuff that have less potential side effects and whatnot.
The peptides are good. It's legit shit, you know. But again, it's like you got to find that balance, because you're totally right. When people always talk to me about hormone replacement, and I'm always like, look, it's got to be a personal choice, because there's plenty of ways to be 50 and super healthy without it. But if you want to be 50 and Jason, you kind of need it. If you want to be, I mean, I'm getting to the era where I'm going to need it. and the doctor he said exactly what he told me. He's like, you're so healthy, you definitely don't need it, but you need it to be you if you want to continue like this.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah, because I guess you could just not do stuff. I mean, body stuff where you work out a lot, and then you probably wouldn't be as tired.
Yeah, exactly. And look, exercise, proper exercise, is stress to the body. That's what it is. And when you're 20, you could take a lot of stress. That's like the big thing people totally misunderstand, not only with hormone replacement therapy, but with anabolic steroids and anything hormonal in general, is that it's not something you put in your body and you're ripped. What it does is it makes your recovery so much more amplified that therefore you can train harder, train more frequently. And that's the big advantage of it.
And that's why I never felt like steroid cheats deserved the bit of credit that they never got the bit of credit that they do deserve. Like Mark McGwire took crazy abused steroids and lied to the American public on a storybook ride to breaking the all-time single-season home run record.
Yeah.
But he did have to actually lift the weights.
No,
Nobody talks about that.
If you don't, I mean,
Sammy Sosa too.
He's right. Look, is it cheating?
Angle.
It's cheating for that sport. No problem. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But the bottom line is that so many people have this idea that it's like a magic diet pill.
Yeah.
And that it just makes and the reality is it's quite the opposite. And if you do take steroids and don't work out, it makes
fat.
you more fat and more shitty.
Yeah. Yeah, I did that. The first time I ever got offered steroids from somebody, and it was right when I came back to Mega Ramp, and he was like, well, you know what you need is steroids will strengthen your legs. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. And I was just getting into MMA, so he was teaching me about all that stuff. And within a couple of weeks, my legs were way bigger, and I couldn't get my hands around my legs to hold onto my board. Mm-hmm. So that's when I was like, wait, this is not working for me, because all I was doing was going to Mega Ramp or doing a little bit of Muay Thai, but I didn't lift anyways. So my legs got really big and the rest of me kind of got fat. And it took a while to bounce back from that too, because I stopped taking it. I didn't just shrink. I stayed kind of fat, and my appetite, it raised my appetite. So
yeah.
I ate more and did the same things that I was doing, which was just skating. And I ended up like road runnering myself. I could tell my legs were like way bigger. My ass was getting bigger, and I was just getting like little bitch titty kind of vibes.
Yep.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this? It didn't work at all. So it never worked out for me. I never did it for the right reasons, or did I understand what it was good for? It was just sort of following somebody else's footsteps for a change. It's kind of how I go.
Do you think there are people in action sports who are using that stuff? There are a lot of athletes who are extending their careers there just the same as in lots of other careers. It's not as if Sal Masekela was ever piss testing anyone.
Well, Sal Masekela's never been on steroids, and maybe he should stop. But
hey, for Sal, he looks pretty damn good lately.
Well, yeah, he was a big fat person.
Yeah, and he deserves a lot of credit because he's got legitimate shoulders and
he's trying to drop in.
Really?
Yeah, I heard on the streets that because Tony Hawk and Andy McDonald did that ride from X Games, and of course Tony's doing some tricks that he's never going to do again and filming them and saying goodbye to them, Sal dropped in on a vert ramp on the Boom Boom Huck tour, where at one point I was on the microphone and I said, if you don't at least go for it. Like I had a microphone and I was kneeling on the transition underneath him, sea of people. I had the mic and I was like, you're not getting back on the bus if you don't not go down and fucking knee slide. Go down and I know that you went for it. You either make it or eat shit, or I'm asking Tony to not allow you on the bus anymore because you bap about everybody skateboarding and blah, blah, blah. Well, here you fucking are. You talked yourself into it. And he did it. He made it. And at first I was like, he's going to eat shit so bad. And he got hurt a little bit, but not that bad. And now he wants to do it again. And you're right. He is fitter than he was because he does a lot of CrossFit and he does a lot of other stuff. And he surfs all the time. But he is way older. And that is the difference when you're almost 50. Your brain still is good. Your body's still good, really. It's just, can it take that hit? Or can it take, to me, it's more, can it take the 5 mediocre hits before, and you still stand up with enough gusto left in your legs? Because I could tell the other day when I was doing those method airs at Tony's ramp, I did one. And I was like, yes, I can't believe it. I got it back. And he's like, Tony's like, let me film one. 6 tries later, I couldn't do it. And I could tell when I dropped in, I started to lose power in my legs. I was a little bit shaky, a little bit off balance because I'd been there for over an hour and I can't my body can't can't do the pump as much as it used to. Like, I'm like, oh shit, and then I'm like, oh man, I should probably rest, drink some water and wait. But there was nobody else on the ramp, so we just kept going. But that's the breaks when you get older. You have to time it. So for Sal, the drop-in is less of a workout. But if you fall a couple of times before you actually make it, you can hurt your legs to the point where they won't hold you up when you go to stand up. But I told him I need to be there for that, 100,000%. I want to be the coach. I want to yell at him and tell him that I'm not letting him go back to his house until he commits to it.
You're not allowed.
Yeah, you have to stay at this ramp for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But I am excited to see him do it. I saw him skating a bowl, so you can tell he's trying to get his legs back. I like watching old people try to get shit back.
Jason, let's tell everybody about ShipStation, which is a service that you and I have been using long before we started this podcast.
Everybody that's ever read my book, you're welcome.
Yeah, for us,
from here.
Writing the book was not the hard part. Printing the book was not the hard part. Actually receiving orders and shipping them out to people, that was the challenge. I can honestly say we would not have been able to self-release our book, Still Awesome, were it not for the incredibly easy and effective ShipStation.
You can still get that book now, Michael.
You absolutely, positively can.
Ship more in less time. Just use my offer code Ellis to get a 60-day free trial. That's 2 months free of no hassle, stress-free shipping, mate. Just go to ShipStation.com, click on the microphone at the top of the page, and type in Ellis. That's ShipStation.com. Enter offer code Ellis. Make ship happen.
We are here today to talk to you about Truff, the only hot sauce on God's green earth that combines all the things you love about delicious, spicy hot sauce with the delicious, elegant addition of truffles.
Oh, yeah, give me that.
Yeah. Kevin starts salivating as soon as we say the word truffles.
I just remember that basketball player, Hot Sauce. He was so good. He would break your ankles.
Yes, he was good, but not as good as Truff, which is all the things you love about a hot sauce brand like no other, with ripe chilies, savory spices, and a touch of organic agave nectar blended with, I'll say it again, truffles.
You like hot sauce, Kevin?
Oh, yeah.
You like truffles?
Yep. And I like truff.
Have you ever poured hot sauce on your nipples and then let the cold wind?
No, but now I have plans for today.
You're welcome. So many things you could do. Get 15% off site-wide plus free shipping with promo code Ellis at truff.com. That's 15% off everything at Truff, Truff, F as in fantastic.com. Promo code Ellis.
I've really come to grips with my kind of weird desire to engage in like so much exercise and fitness, and now getting like really much more serious about striking sports and like going in the ring more and stuff. And the reality is like I tapped into this feeling of essentially giving a middle finger to nature. Like, the world is telling me you got to stop doing this. You have to taper off, or you have to give up. And it's like there's something inside me that's like, no, I'm gonna prove you wrong. You know?
Yeah.
That's the kind of the motive, I guess.
I completely relate to that.
Yeah.
I feel like because I've stopped trying to use the testosterone, and when I did that thing the other day where I surfed in the morning and then I skated, and then when I got back to the house, I did like a kettlebell workout, and then I hit the heavy bag for like 45 or something. I was tired for 3 days. Like the third day I woke up and I was like, nah, I don't want to go to the gym today. And I'm like, wow, day 3 and you don't want to go. Because I know there's a thing where my brain wants to play, but then it also is like, check your body, dude. Like, if you go again today, would that be a good idea? No, it wouldn't. You can tell. I can tell. I'm like, I'd go if I was paid to go. But if you go today, it's going to be hard to hold your head up tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you got to stop. So it's like, but that was a really good day. Like, would I like to have that day 4 days of my week? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
can I physically do that right now? No. By the 4th day, I'd be like, really? Like up here, lifted a kettlebell on the 4th day, I'd be like, oh my God. I passed yoga twice. I did yoga last week for fucking 15 minutes, and I was like, I'm so sore. I'm out. And then she came yesterday, and I just went upstairs and looked at TikTok videos while Katie did the yoga class because I don't have it in me, which made me inject today and made me commit to doing it again on Tuesday because I'm following your advice that I neglected because that's me. I go, oh, good advice. I'll do it. Change my mind. And then, of course, Andrew Huberman, who's a scientist who works at Stanford in his own laboratory. That guy was like, pace it. And the estrogen, that is not really something that I would recommend you do. And I was like, he's like, you should talk to your doctor about it first, but I wouldn't do it. So I haven't been doing that.
What,
and I haven't talked to
estrogen?
my doctor.
Yeah, if you do testosterone and estrogen, isn't that just like a wash?
No. Katie, what is it?
Anastrozole?
Yeah.
Oh no, anti-estrogen.
Oh,
that's a yeah.
Because there's estrogen in testosterone.
No, your body is a beautiful
produces
machine, and it elevates your. That's why a lot of steroid users get tits.
Do you think that would help if I took a smishmifin?
Yeah.
Would that help like my boobs?
No.
Small amounts of gynecomastia. Not the we've all seen the stuff online or even maybe at the beach where guys have like full tits.
Yeah,
that's surgery. There's nothing you could do about it. But very small, like if you just have the lumpy nipples.
Well, you guys could help me out with this. Do I qualify as that? I don't have like long hanging donkey tits, but like I might qualify in the small zone.
No, you have fat areolas. What? I don't even know. I didn't even know that was funny. That's what you have.
Yeah.
If you have bitch like the steroidy thing, it's really noticeable that something's off.
What if I got, because I didn't never even know that testosterone came in cream form. What if I just like oiled myself up a little bit?
I'd recommend progesterone cream, which by the way, you don't even need a.
What's that?
It's another sex hormone, another hormone naturally in the body.
And he could rub it on his tits and it would shrink him?
A lot of really smart man boob kind of gurus have recommended progesterone cream. And
There's a fucking man boob guru?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I got to follow this motherfucker.
Yeah, and he's legit.
I wouldn't follow a guru if I was you.
Well, on Instagram, I mean.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I follow a couple of gurus on Instagram, and that made me make a mental note not to ever follow a guru.
No. I actually... I'm glad you brought that up. There is a whole movement now that I've gotten a little bit more into the fitness kind of online community.
Yeah.
The whole people where it's like, I'm shredded, therefore I can give you advice on how to live your life thing.
Yeah, I'm shredded, so I don't think trans people deserve equal rights. That's what I've noticed lately.
That's a weird guru.
Yeah. No, shredded people got new friends, and they're a hateful bunch, in my opinion, obviously. I'm sure all those people probably think that I'm clueless. Maybe you're right, but I feel like a lot of those yoga guru people are really up the arse of Republicans these days. It's a very political yoga stance that people have these days. I've lost several friends without even knowing because I stand up for trans rights recently. The gurus are offended, which tells me that it was bullshit the whole time. Because you just can't prove to me that trans people are mean or evil or up to no good.
Well, there's a touchy kind of area when it comes to trans rights. Are they talking about trans rights in general, which is again
it's
crazy.
Whatever Trump's against. That's all it is.
Okay.
If you're a super crazy guru these days and you're in Texas, usually there's this new thing out there right now where it's like mask it's fake. Fauci's a liar. And what was the other one? Oh, the vaccine is. I think some of them don't say that it's got a chip in it, but they definitely think, it's never. How long have we been testing this? Who knows what's going to happen? I'm like, some of you motherfuckers that are saying that, I know you to be somebody that takes everything to figure out how it works. You just take it.
Your body's a human laboratory.
And now you're telling everybody else, don't trust the government while doing burpees, and then to top it off, because I was like, whatever. You got your friends, and you got a different thing in Texas. You got your own little government thing. And it's like a BJ Baldwin. you're right. I am Australian, and I probably don't get it. I concede. I probably don't get it, but now it leads down the road of whatever those people are standing for. Then your CrossFit ass stands for that too. So whatever you're getting your burpee stuff from, somebody's telling you that Pizzagate's real, and that that those guys are still trying to eat baby fluids or whatever it is, and trans people if you let trans people have any rights, your daughter will never be in a sports team ever again, and all these trans people are going to steal your children from the bathroom. And that is and you cannot give them any other you cannot argue it. It is a fact to them. That is what is going to happen. I'm an evil person, and I should stop, and I should shut the fuck up about it as well. That's the other thing everyone should say. Everyone tells me that I should stop talking about trans rights. Enough of your fucking supporting gay people. It's fucking played out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say it again, because fuck you fucking idiots. Hate on some 12-year-old that's trans. Forbid them from becoming what they are. Just know one. Just meet one. Just have a parent that has one. And then make your decision. If you've never met one, you don't know any, you never face-to-face talk to somebody about their life and how they exist, then don't post about how you're absolutely positive it's this way. Because I wouldn't, I don't know, if I don't know something for sure, I don't really have that much of an opinion on it. I'm like, I don't know, maybe extra burpees in the morning are really good. I didn't do extra burpees in the morning. But I know trans people, and I know they're not fake, and I know they don't make it up to win sports. It's fucking insulting, and I will stand up for them. And you can unfollow me and unlisten. I really am sorry to Kevin and Tully if you don't follow the show anymore because of what a gay supporter I am. They don't deserve this. But at the same time, going back to my original statement, go fuck yourself.
Most of the trans people that we've known through the show are horrible athletes.
Right?
Yeah. There's a couple Ellis Mania videos we could share with you that would definitely demonstrate.
I know.
That.
Can you name one that was any good?
Nobody's coming for a Strikeforce belt that I know.
I feel like Foxy lost to a trans guy.
Brittany Markham vomited in the ring.
Oh yeah, Brittany Markham vomited a lot in the ring. Like her whole food of the last 2 days emptied out in the ring, and she lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good point. I've never seen any trans people at Ellis Mania do well.
And there's a couple of other good points.
Good ring girls.
Just because
they might have got gas doing that.
It's true. That may
I think Foxy asked for a water halfway through doing a circle.
Right. You might not want to get your burpee advice and your political advice from the same source.
Yeah.
That's
there you go.
That's one thing.
But that's not how it works these days. I feel like a lot of people get their news from Team Burpee.
Yeah. I have more than a little bit of experience in knowing some gurus. A little more than just from following them on Instagram, and it's not surprising to me at this point when a self-appointed guru, some facts come out that make me realize that person is a massive hypocrite, and the thing that they're selling the world publicly has very little relationship to the way they are in real life. I definitely don't think that's true of all of them. I would pick one out of thin air. I think Tony Robbins might be a really good guy.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they're all full of shit. Just like I'm not saying every homophobe is secretly gay, but a lot of the gurus, it's like they're almost overcompensating for what pieces of shit deep down inside they actually know they are.
Same with the super religious right. Obviously,
yeah, exactly.
Obviously, we all know devout Christians that are great people, that are loving and open. The kind of Mr. Rogers version of Christians. But there's definitely plenty of people who adopted this holier than thou mentality because they were constantly cheating on their wife and they fucking are looking at porn every second. That's definitely.
What about the fact that you tell everyone don't take the vaccine, but you take frog poison?
Well, that's natural, Jason.
Yeah.
And then you do the scientific research on the frog poison. It's just poison. It makes you fucking hallucinate and freaks you the fuck out. And you're like, no, but the things that you gather from doing that torturous experience over a period of 5 days will never be. And it's like, what about the vaccine that saves fucking fat people? Because that's my only thing. I don't know for sure, but I do know personally a person who died from it because he was fat. He was fat and he's the same age as me. So if you're the same age as me and you're a big fat person and you get it, fucking die. And that guy seemed like a nice person who had 3 children that I'm sure they really miss their father.
Sure.
And I'm okay with taking the vaccine. I did see the Johnson & Johnson thing. They're trying to not let people have it because 6 people got sick. I mean, honestly, if I got the Johnson & Johnson one and then I saw that, I'd be like, God damn it, I got the shit one. Like, I'm probably going to get swollen. Like, it would freak me out. I know everyone's like, dude, there was 1 million people that got the thing and only 6 people got it. I'm like, yeah. But that doesn't... I mean, you're talking... Half this table definitely thinks it's coming for him. Like, if someone's got a bad luck thing happening and I was somehow in it, it's coming... Kevin thinks it's coming for him and I think it's coming for me.
Yeah.
Whether it is or not, like, I'm like, 6 people out of fucking hundreds of thousands, I'm probably going to be okay. Someone said it's like getting struck by lightning multiple times. That's how unlucky you'd have to be. What about those 6 people? Tell that to those 6 people.
Sure.
So that's my... I could get sketched on it, but I still, again, I'm just like, give me the fucking shot. Like, the flu shot doesn't always work. I don't know how many people have died from the flu shot, and I was never one that really wanted to get it, because I was like, you're going to give me the flu shot, so I'm going to get the flu, so I don't get the flu later? Why don't I just get the flu? Because that's how... no one ever told me, well, dude, if you get the flu, you could give it to someone else and they could die. Which still counts. You know, I get everyone's other arguments. See, smoking kills fucking that many people. Secondhand smoking kills fucking hundreds of people a year. Hundreds of thousands of people a year. We ain't fucking banning that. So I do get when people find other arguments in it where you're like, well, that is a fucking good point. Mm-hmm. You know what, though? McDonald's should be banned. You know, like, because you're all too fucking dumb to stop eating it. So they should put it. They should do all that. But you know what? You want your personal freedoms, and that's what is great about this country. I want to smoke marijuana, and now you can. But for the longest time, you couldn't, and you went to prison for it. That was an unfair period that we all still existed in. There's a time where, I don't want anybody to tell me that I have to take the vaccine. I just want the facts out there and be like, hey, man, make your choice. I'm like, all right. If you start saying you can't exist in this country without me stabbing you with this stuff, I'd be like, fuck that. Yeah. Why? Why is it compulsory? I don't like that. I want to make my decision. I want to have my rights. So I get everybody's angle, but I still haven't seen one where it's probably going to kill everybody if we do the shot. I'm like, I don't think that's true. I think that we're probably going to get out of this faster if everybody takes that shot.
I do want to stick up, and I mean, I did start this conversation by saying how upset I am about this whole fitness guru thing. But I will stick up for them in one regard, and kind of this whole weird anti-vax right-wing thing, in that I do think a lot of it stems out of the fact that, and let's be very honest, for the last couple of years, they've had an incredibly shotgun approach type of argument foisted on them. I do think a lot of this...
They've been correct, proven correct. I've had somebody on my show that was talking about intermittent fasting and whatnot, and then another person from the radio who had a show before he got fired called in to say, this guy's full of shit. He has no scientific facts. He has no research. If you go into the research annals, you'll find that this shit hasn't been proven yet. And I thought, you are right. I bet you if I go there, it probably isn't in there. But these guys are on the groundbreaking edge of doing health and fitness to a higher level, and you're talking about government that had for the longest time your fucking pyramid of lies. Yeah. You need cheese and bread. No, you fucking don't. No, you fucking never did. And you just told me that for 30 years that I need cheese. Liar. So
whole grains has been...
Then squat thrust fucking 5,000s over here saying we don't need any of that shit. And did you know that if you do intermittent fasting, and did you know if you do cold plunge and blah 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 that isn't scientifically isn't in the food fucking thing where they're like, oh yeah, no, that's to be factual, because some things the government will keep from you so that they can... The cheese company is like, don't tell them you can't eat cheese. Here's a bunch of money. So why would I believe the government when I know that cheese gave you a bunch of money to tell us to keep eating cheese when we shouldn't have cheese? Most of us don't want to eat dairy. We're just programmed to do it. Let me put some sugar in it. I'm probably not supposed to have that either, but you're giving it to me. So I get why you start believing these people, because at one point I was believing them. I still do. I still love them. I don't care if they fucking don't like me. I still love them for who they are. And I think that when people get it, oh man, you shouldn't... Thank God they're stopping trans people from suppressing their puberty so that they can just be the man that they were supposed to be because they're born a man. I'm like, wow, you're celebrating that? Because from my angle, you're a fucking cunt for celebrating that 12-year-old can't take that medicine. Because he or she is now depressed and will probably fucking kill themselves later on, or just have a shit life because they never got to be what they are, and now they have like a weird structure that they can never live with because they knew that they were trans. If your parents would know, like if my kids are gay, I'm gonna, Tiger's trans. I'm gonna know. Is it because he's friends? I guess some people out here maybe ask questions at schools. Tully said something about some lady was like, I just ask them all the time, are you trans or are you not? Either way, I'd be happy. I'm like, if that person exists, then that's making me look bad.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
If you're a parent and your kid's gay, trans, whatever the fuck it is, and you know why you don't know? Because you don't hang out with your kids. You obviously don't care. You haven't really thought about it. You're probably busy at work. It's not rocket science. If you fucking hang out with somebody 24 hours a day, you start to catch what they are, what they're going to be. I'm pretty sure I knew what Tiger was going to be by the time he was like 4 or 5 because I'd seen all these tests. People were agitating him. Is he an aggressive kid? Is he a kid that stands up for himself? Is he a kid that's like, all the different things that you watch because your child's around you and you're watching them all day? That's what a parent does. So when you're like, if you want to be fucking a boy, Johnny, or you want to be a girl, why am I fucking asking Johnny that? You know what fucking Johnny wants to be. Why are you saying that? Because you heard somebody get woke on social media?
Well, that's it.
And that one scares me. But both of those angles, the red and the blue scare me. When you're that, it's one side. It's just one side. Like I'm in full support of the trans community. I know people are going to hate this fucking podcast. I swear, fuck you. If it comes out that they shouldn't be in sports, and you can scientifically prove it to me, okay.
Sure.
And then the trans community be like, what the fuck, Jason? I thought you were a supporter. I am, but I also feel like if it's just so obvious that if a natural-born guy is in the girl sport and he just swamps all the natural-born women, come on, man. Like, just be trans and get a job and not be an Olympian. But so far, I'm seeing that that's not really the case. It seems like the more research I find out, the more it shows that that's not the case at all. And if you really wanted to get weird, you could probably segregate all different races in sports because they have different bone structure and shit. But you don't. You just let it all fly. But the only reason you know that one flies because it feels wrong. Jesus Christ told you in a book. Well, he didn't actually. So I got to stop blaming that guy. Whoever wrote the book, because that's not Jesus. He wrote some shit that made you go, yeah, we have to probably not give them freedoms. We probably have to shadow ban them. And when I mean shadow ban, I mean just shadow ban your life. Like you get like I do. Talk about it. Someone DMs me on Patreon, which means you're a paid for subscriber to my shit, and you want me to shut the fuck up about trans rights. I have to keep saying it for them. I have to keep saying it for the people that if one person doesn't die, I'm okay with not existing. Which is really tough for me because I fucking love being cool. I love being famous. I wish everybody would fucking listen to the show. Wish we had millions of followers. I would fucking cut off an arm for a fucking million downloads a week. I would do it. Just to be fucking back in there and be like, I fucking told you wouldn't stop me. But you can all fuck off. I'm not trying to sound mean. I'm just saying everyone can just disappear and I can work in construction. I probably wouldn't do that. Whatever. Male prostitute. Something sad.
You could do both. You could be in the Village People.
Ooh. Oh. I send work. Ooh, what about if I do naked gay construction on OnlyFans?
How about this?
That'll show him.
No. How about
Fuck
this?
you, Scott Greenstein. Here's my anus while I shovel.
Dude, you get a legitimate job in construction, and your Instagram identity just becomes like, get filled up my lunch pail, going back to the site today. But then you have the OnlyFans where you're like lowering your pants while you're doing some welding, and you are fully available as a prostitute.
And some of my coworkers get pissed at me. They're like, "Hey, Jace, pull your pants back up. We're not doing that early thing again, are you?"
And you're just in there hammering. That's
a big
Come on,
thing.
put your root away.
I do 45 minutes of hard work,
man.
labor, and 15 minutes of hardcore OnlyFans.
Well, that's a thing for women. It's a huge thing. Like the hot nurse that, when it's time, when the sun goes down, I'm a nurse by day, but here's me in my scrubs as I pull up my top to show you my titties. And, they've had some problems with military, the hot military chick who's a real actual United States service person, but she posed for Playboy and they're like,
I know. Colin Powell's got to stop putting on his 4 stars.
But he
and
has
showing
such
everybody
a
his
sweet,
balls.
such a sweet butthole. That Colin. I mean, that's how he got the name.
That would be a crazy photo shoot. He seems loose. And I don't mean like easy to fuck. I mean like his skin hates him.
Oh, that's not a pretty. Yeah, I don't think that's.
Yeah, his
That
anus is
seems-
making a run for the border.
Hey everybody, I'm talking about Liquid Death. You know I drink it. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I've got it around my house all day. A lot of people that don't know and see me drinking it all the time are like, man, what's that beer? It's not a beer. It's not a beer. It's not an energy drink. It's water. Water in a can, which means it's recyclable. So they're doing good things over there. And it's very tasty, and they got one with bubbles.
That's right. It's water, and it's sparkling water, and it is the coolest can that you will find at 7-Eleven or anywhere else you care to buy a beverage. I know my son feels like the absolute coolest kid in Zoom school every time he cracks open a can of Liquid Death before he goes back to 3rd grade.
Yeah, you really have to get with it, everybody. It's just what's going to happen. Everybody's going to be drinking Liquid Death, and if you're not drinking Liquid Death and you're drinking some other water, it's just not going to make any sense. You're not going to be able to hang out with us.
And somebody just asked me on Instagram the other day for a promo code. I'm happy to be able to provide one
Finally.
to them with a special bonus for our listeners. Go to liquiddeath.com/Ellis to get a free set of Koozies with your first order of any case of water. Highly recommended. Or just grab some at any Whole Foods or 7-Eleven.
Hey everybody, Jason Ellis here, talking about keeps. Do you have hair? Do you like your hair? Have you lost some of your hair? Are you worried about your hair running away and never coming back for the rest of your life? Well, look at me! God damn it! I did not use Keeps. I didn't even know about Keeps. If someone had told me about Keeps, I surely would have used it, because now I am a bowling ball.
Jason, you're not alone. 2 out of 3 men will experience some form of hair loss by the time they're 35. When I was a kid, I used to think that it was more of like an old man sort of thing. You don't want to be losing your hair before you're 35.
No. I think I was right there. And right there was the time to start using it. I remember I started to do like a bit of a comb over haircut. And I was like, I hate that haircut. I mean, brush forward.
You don't want a Caesar. Nobody wants a Caesar.
Yes. No, I know. No.
If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/Ellis to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's keeps.com/Ellis to get your first month free. keeps.com/Ellis.
Back before the pandemic in the Korean spa, every now and then there was this real old black guy that would like kind of waddle himself into the steam room. And the back, I don't know why you're ashamed of your laugh. It's okay to laugh about a big fat old guy, but his wobble in the back of his ass and his back inner thigh, because when you get real old, your meat starts to come off the bone.
Yeah.
So when he stepped, it was just like just so nasty, man.
Gravity's tough.
I remember thinking, every time I'd see him, I'd be in the cold plunge or in the jacuzzi, and I would just. You got to make the most of your life, Jason.
You do.
You got to, because if your ass meat is coming off and you're waddling to the steam room, don't even try to touch my penis, man. Like, it's over.
Well, then
just let me die.
Well, then you and me are never going to have sex, because I just caught an angle of myself the other day where I can't believe I already have, like, extreme elderly old man ass.
What?
I don't know why I did this, but I was naked and I was looking at myself in profile in the mirror, and I did like the thrust thing. And you know how
that is a weird thing to do. I was with you until you started thrusting.
Like you twerked?
Like I've looked at myself sideways in my ass in the mirror.
Yeah.
But I don't start pumping anything.
No. I was in that position. No. I didn't look at myself and then go, let me see what it looks like when I pump. I happened to be doing something. I don't know if I was like turning or something. It's something
so you were like presenting.
Yeah, exactly. I was looking in my own
Now you're making
anus.
Michael angry. I hope you're happy, Kevin. No, he's not presenting. He was doing the opposite. You were leaning back, which made your butt wrinkle in a weird way.
For whatever reason, I caught an angle of myself moving my hips forward when I looked at myself from the side, and I go, wait a second, did my butt just wrinkle up like an old man's no-ass would?
Oh,
and then
what?
I fully
you
fucking made myself do the pump thing, and I was like, oh my, you know, like an old person's elbow, how the skin all just gathers on it?
Sure.
That's apparently what I can never have sex again with the lights on, because that's what my ass does if I am in full thrust.
I mean, you could get that to go away.
I might have to.
this guy has a podcast about.
Yeah. Oh, I'm on Mike Catherwood's Patreon.
Have you seen him shirtless? He only posted every 15 minutes now, which blows my mind. We did a podcast together where I had to convince you to take your clothes off because I was trying to get. I'm like, you're so fit and good looking. How dare you be weird about taking your shirt off? So I made you take all your clothes off with Natasha Dreams. But after that, it just seemed like I just see him with his shirt off all day.
I tweeted one time an old photo of Mike at a fitness competition and have felt so badly about it ever since because I did not realize at the time that it was making him uncomfortable that I did so, that photo was taken against his wishes.
Yes.
And
how'd you get past this?
And now you're fucking full-time integrated.
What happened? Is it me? Did I cure it?
I'm sure you helped.
Yeah.
Sure. I had to. It's
unleash.
So corny. It's so cheesy, but I had to do actual exercises and cognitive behavioral therapy directed exactly at my image.
Wait, when you went to that one camp thing when you weren't allowed to have a phone, you had to do yoga for like a week.
Yes.
Did that help you get naked?
Not really. That was a lot more about like the development of. Well, okay, no, actually, it definitely had to. I didn't directly talk about my image, my self-image, but I explored, like deeply explored, the development of negative the negative self-talk and ideas about being a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that kind of falls under that umbrella, you know. And I definitely think you could relate, Jason, in that I was, and I don't want to compare to people who are dramatically sexually abused. I mean, like you, I wouldn't put myself on the same level, but I did have sexual abuse, and I'm sure that also played a bit of a role. Huh.
Were you weird about pulling your asshole out in front of us today?
No, not at all.
All right.
I mean, it's so strange that to me is like taking my shoes off because the drive was comedy. I don't know why it's.
You're free with your anus.
But I also think that it's a bit of a cop out. I think that it's kind of a shield. Comedy is a lot of times a shield. I mean, it's much easier to get on stage and do like Tenacious D type stuff than it would be to write a really heartfelt song that was really meaningful and then sing it. It'd be much easier to address something as a stand-up, that was really painful to you in comparison to being just in a talk show and being like, and then that's when, my dad started hitting me. And there is a definite built-in kind of comfort buffer with comedy, so I do think that helps.
I feel like a lot of people that go through that stuff are led to comedy because the only way to survive being mistreated as a child is to make light of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like to be completely shocked and devastated about it when you're an adult means you're just walking around shocked and devastated. If you can see the funny side of it, like when I did Ryan Sickler's show, and he was like, when the first time he had sex, and I was like, I sucked a dick when I was 3. And then I said something about that's a T-shirt, that's I sucked a dick when I was 3 because he asked me, and the first thing that came out in my mind was like, the first time you had sex was when you were fucking 3. It's really sad, but when you say it's a T-shirt, it's Ryan's laughing, I'm laughing, and I'm alive. I'm laughing. I don't. If you go, I sucked a dick when I was 3.
Yeah.
Let me think about that. Like, you can't do that. You have to
comedy,
move on.
Comedy smooths over awkwardness. So
yeah.
It makes you win. It makes you the winner. Like, to me, laughing it off makes me... No, I mean, unscarred is hilarious to me. Fucking... I'm happy for anybody who thinks they've done that, but I'm not unscarred, but if I can make light of it, it definitely makes existing so much easier. Like, you didn't get to me almost. Like, if I get really bummed out on things that happened so long ago, I'm like, you still have me. You're still winning. Like, 'cause it's always a contest to me. So if I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember that. And then I'm like, you guys want to go get some tacos? Instead of, yeah, I remember that. It's probably going to take me about 20 minutes to sort of cheer up about it, because I'm like, fuck, man, that's really fucked up. You got me again. After all this time, you got me again. Do I really deserve to be got again after the first time? And I think about how many times I've been got again from that. Mm-hmm. vision, you know, like knowing about it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, and then I'm just shook or angry or what, you know, I mean, down some depression road for a couple weeks. And now it's like, yeah, but look at me, you know, I got a golf cart.
I also,
sweet.
but I do think this is
That was
my
a really
opinion.
bad analogy. I just realized.
This is my opinion, though. I do think,
I now feel sorry for myself.
the comedy.
It's okay, Jess. Just buy a golf cart to get all the dick sucking away.
The comedy does help soothe things over, but I also think you do need those moments of like, okay, no fucking joking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna really look at the man in the mirror, and we're gonna go.
Yeah.
And that's I guess just what I have done in the last couple of years is just bite the bullet.
Well, I'm happy for you because you don't want to. You're going to be old and hideous, and then when you take your shit off, it's going to be like kind of nasty. And right now, you look really great naked, and it's a crying shame to not be naked every now and then. Or you know, it'd be different if it was like, hey, check out my OnlyFans account, which still I would support. But you're a comedian that just made a bunch of Coca-Cola shoot up your ass.
Yeah.
That's funny.
You did.
How did that feel?
Quite nice. After the initial blast was a bit of a, whoo, you know, there was a dangerous moment, but it was fleeting, and then it just felt good.
Yeah, I imagine the fizzies would be a nice sensation.
I feel like we've uncovered an OnlyFans angle for each of you here in the last 45 minutes or so. Mike, you would be comfortable being on OnlyFans as long as it was comedy, and I'm sure there's plenty of people who'd be willing to put up with the comedy to see you naked.
A lot of men. I don't know.
Yeah,
a couple women, I'm sure.
Make no
but-
mistake, that's who I'm talking about here. Huh?
Yeah.
Every single one of you, let me clarify, we've come up with a gay OnlyFans angle for you. Jason, you've got your sexy construction worker.
Nice.
Oh, sorry. I was like, what am I doing again? Yeah, back to construction.
And Kevin, that whatever that cream is to rub into your nipples is not going to pay for itself.
Right.
good point.
I'd be interested in naked Kevin watching supermarket queefs. You know, like
I thought he
like,
was just going to be oiling up his nipples every day.
I don't know why you're putting him into it. There's certain people that you put on OnlyFans that emotionally wreck them for the rest of their lives, and I believe Kevin is one of them. He's thinking about kids. He's thinking about things that, you know, like, you know that there's video footage of you naked watching some, and he'd be like, yeah, that is pretty bad.
And then put on a luchador mask.
Like, for me, it's like, do you know there's video of you naked watching it? And I'm like, yeah, so.
Well, I feel like there's a difference between myself and Mike. Like, you saying, Mike, that you want to use your body and show like skin or nudity for comedy purposes.
Yeah.
Like yours, you do work both ways. I don't have the option of taking my shirt off and being sexy. I can only use it to be funny. So even if I did start an OnlyFans, I'd be like, I'm fucking grossing everybody out. This is weird.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, and it's kind of like I used to get really upset with the hot chick on the red carpet when I was working at Access Hollywood, and then you're like, man, you look amazing. It's like, oh no, I'm gross. You should see me in the morning, and like, so I don't like it when people clearly have that thing where they're very appealing to people, and then they're just like, that's not true at all. I remember distinctly George Clooney was standing next to me being interviewed by a different person. It was a female, and she's like, "Can I just say, like, you're more handsome now than maybe ever before?" And he was like, "Wow, thank you. I really appreciate it."
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's it."
I love when hot people do that.
Yeah. You know, and I was like, that's it. You know, he nailed it. And so I do see that. But I also think, like, for me, it was a matter of like finally getting to the point, because a lot of it was embarrassment about my body, like a shame of my image. But another thing is like, I grew up around a lot of people and in a culture where it was like, if you do stuff to take care of yourself, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And I finally got to the point I was like, you know what? You're fucking corny.
Yeah.
I know I grew up in a world where like lifting weights and taking care of yourself and eating healthy was dorky.
For pussies.
And I was like, but you know what? Fuck. I was like, no, taking care of yourself, trying to take life by the balls is pretty awesome, and I'm okay with that. And that was a
I
thing.
feel like there's a time in your life where, because you're a manly guy, and just by saying that sentence, it makes me understand you even more. When you grow up in a community that is constantly keeping it buff, you know, there's a general consensus in your family that being tough is looked appreciated, and being weak is frowned upon. It's not like I'm going to forbid you if you're a pussy, but the word pussy is flying out a lot. So you're living up to this hype. A lot of guys are living up to that hype.
Yeah.
I am a giant fucking pretender of that. Like, I was raised to be tough. The most the idolized, the people that were the idols of my world were idolized because they were fucking crazy. They were madmen. And I was like, oh shit. So if you want to be anything in life, you got to be fearless. But that didn't, it's like this weird, I'm not fearless. I'm terrified. I just did it because if you didn't do it, you were a pussy. And being a pussy was like really bad.
Yeah.
It was so weird how bad it was to be a pussy. Like, oh no, not a pussy. And then getting a little older and seeing some things that I was like, those are pussies. Things that people do like that are for pussies. And then meeting some people, like I was doing with the trans thing, meeting some people that are really good people that do this one pussy thing, act in this pussy way. And I'm like, wait a minute. That's not that bad. That's not that bad of a person. That's not that bad of a thing to do or listen to. And then all of a sudden I'm doing it. I'm like, wow, if that's not so bad, I wonder how bad could it be to just hang out with all those delightful people that none of them have black on. That's risky to me. Sounded like a risky thing. And it took me, in my 40s to be like, yeah, okay, I'll go. Before that, no fucking way. And even that, I remember there was a week of me deciding, I was like, yeah, but they're all pussies. Why would you go somewhere where all the pussies are?
Yeah.
And then I went and I was like, these guys are all happy. There's some people who've got issues, but they're free of judgment. And I was like, wow. When you judge and you think you're cool or a badass and everybody else is a pussy, it shows that it's your insecurities. It shows how insecure you are to puff up all the time and to be buff, to be tough, to be fearless. It shows how insecure you are because you're matching, unless I know people out there that are just, I think maybe from me doing this my whole life, then yeah, now I'm kind of addicted to it. Now I'm not doing it for you. I really like being dangerous. I get off on it. I'm addicted to it. I need to be like, whoa, you might not make that. And I'm like, oh, that sounds like fun to me. Where you might not make it. Oh, I'm all about that. Because I'm so used to living that life where I've always tried to be, oh, Ellis, you don't want to fuck with him. He's fucking crazy. You'll fucking do it. And I'm like, yep, just like my old man. That's what people used to say. I want to be like that. Not realizing what do I really want to be? Yeah. Who am I really? Like, after breaking it, stripping it all off and going, okay, what do you want in your life? And I'm like, I don't actually need anybody to fear me. Like maybe my daughter's boyfriend, but even that,
that's a good one.
It doesn't in the end, even that doesn't do anything. Like you're like, wow, I bet your daughter's boyfriend's gonna, what the fuck? What, find it difficult to talk to me? How does that make things better in my daughter's relationship that he is terrified, he or she is terrified to talk to me?
Well, he doesn't want to disrespect her and incur your wrath.
But wouldn't it be better?
Wrath. Beat up a boyfriend?
Right.
Well, you're not really gonna do it, but just the fear of it is enough.
But
maybe.
wouldn't it be?
See, that's the difference.
Wouldn't it be better, Kevin?
I can't.
Wouldn't it be better if Jason was so admirable and respectable to that young man that he was motivated to treat Devin properly?
In my experience,
guys just weren't scumbags in general.
Yeah.
In my experience, people don't respect fear. I mean, if in front of me, yeah, sure. But when he leaves my house, he probably doesn't like me. So why would he do me any favors? If it's somebody who we're friends and he respects me as a person because he knows that I respect him as a person, he might be less inclined to take advantage of my daughter because he's like, man, Mr. Ellis seems like a cool dude. But if you're like, Mr. Ellis is a fucking psycho, and fuck him, quite frankly, fucking trying to vibe all, act all tough, fuck that dude. Like, it doesn't work.
There's plenty of drug dealers in my life that I was scared shitless of. Scared shitless. I did not respect them in the slightest.
Right.
There was plenty of neo-Nazis that sold me meth that I was trembling getting out of the car, and jacked fucking Crips that I would go into North Pasadena and and I was scared beyond compare. I did not respect them at all.
Well, if you want your daughter to date a guy who's not going to take advantage of her or be a shithead, you need to model behavior as a man for her throughout her entire childhood so that she's very unlikely to choose somebody like that to be her partner. Of course, there's exceptions to every rule, and of course, everybody can make mistakes. You can do everything right, and somebody can still have a shitty boyfriend.
Yep.
But if you've spent your entire life trying to be the guy who's going to scare the shit out of your daughter's boyfriend, you might have unwittingly spent a lot of time
Making
making your daughter was going to date the kind of guy that you were going to have to physically intimidate.
Sure. How many people know the family that was so strict about booze and alcohol and partying and smoking and partying and all that, and their kid was the one who went to college and just went bananas? You know, that
Belladonna's parents are Mormon.
there you go. She's pretty intense.
I think she's got it out of her system now. But yeah, there was a run there that would have been tough to be a parent for her.
Yeah, she was way more than a bigamist.
We should also point out, just to circle back real quick, if you would like to see Mike Catherwood shoot Mentos and coke up his ass, and you're just listening to the audio version of this podcast, you can go to youtube.com/The Jason Ellis Show and see it in all of its wonderful glory.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
This is true.
And we should point out that we have brought you here, Michael, because we want to do one of your signature segments.
Fuck line, yes?
Right, people may recall you if they're trying to place where they know you from your years and years on...
Love line.
Yeah.
Yes.
AKA the fuck master, Mike
Right.
Catherwood.
Yeah.
But I like this show better.
Everybody does.
I got to be honest. I don't get paid half as much, but I prefer fuck line as well.
You're here for the love. So we have an intro, don't we?
Yeah. Just don't know where it is.
There
it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Do we have callers?
We got a video. Someone sent us in a video.
Okay. So we're ready? Okay. I'm just happy that that's an intro for Mike Catherwood and we didn't have to take out someone's name and put Mike's there like we used to.
Yeah. With Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Bucky Lassie.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. With whoever will come over to the house.
So why don't we do the video and then go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say that there has been times where I've toggled the hosting responsibilities of Fuckline with Rudy, and he did come with me. I'm just putting it out there. I'm more than happy to do this segment myself. I'm just letting you know.
If you find there's anything that's too hot for you to handle,
Yeah. He's a little tougher than I am. Yeah. So go ahead.
Weed smoker, too, which is opposite to you.
Oh, loves it.
Really?
Loves it. Oh,
You didn't
Rudy?
know that?
oh my goodness,
His DNA is THC.
Yeah.
you need
It's
to
a-
stop hanging out with him.
He goes so hard
It's
in
a
the
bad influence.
he goes so hard in the bong-on zone.
It sucks because I'm quarantined with him. He actually is still quarantined at my house, so it's been tough.
I can see how that would be a pain in the ass. a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
it's been tough.
So we do have a question here from Trevor.
Oh yeah,
Hopefully this
Trevor.
Hey guys, Iron Vagiant, one of the Wolf Knives, or Psycho in the MSPH Discord, Pooh World Order. Calling to ask Mike. So, every once in a while, my wife likes to step out and bang some other chick, which, yeah, I don't care, because my worst case scenario is I get to watch. Problem is that, like, we do this, and then the next day, the next week, I feel like a teenager again, and we fuck like 3 times a day. We go a month or two between anything like that happening, and oh yeah, we still fuck, but it's not the same.
Can we pause this for a second?
And
What? I mean, it is kind of an interesting story, but boy, does he think that he's got the floor. I mean, he is dragging this shit out. You know what I mean? Like, get to the fucking point and put a shirt on. Did you just fuck her and then ask this question?
I hope so. I hope he's still
I
hard.
don't.
I hope he's got pre-cum on his dick
God
right
damn
now.
it, man.
Maybe he's gonna pan down and reveal that he's being filleted while.
I
he's
know,
recording
right?
this.
Like, yeah, is she sucking it right? Like, come on.
Last night she ate some twat, so we're getting it right now.
she talks to me like, oh, where does the passion go? And I love my wife. She's very attractive. Like, it's not...
God damn, Tom Likas, stop pausing.
Jason, go fuck yourself. You don't get to answer because, you just step out all the time. And, like, hey, that's fine. I don't think that's going to be super cool for me. You know, Tully, you've been with your wife for what, 10 years now?
At least.
How do you keep it exciting? Give me your tips, guys. Thanks a lot.
What? Why is he saying guys? He just said I'm not allowed to give him any tips.
Well, I just feed
because I get to have sex with people.
I feed my wife a steady diet of lesbians.
Just throw him in.
That's his problem.
You're like the Beastmaster, just soccer throw in right of women right to her. My opinion is, it's like this guy once told me. He said, "You don't want to be successful for material things, but if material things motivate you to get there, to that lifestyle, then so be it." You know, he was a really successful guy, and he said, you know, yeah, there was a part of me that did all this for a Bentley. I always dreamed of having a Bentley, and that's not what life is about. It's about feeling gratified in all the things that I did to get there. But for a while there, it got me to live the life I needed to live to be successful. And I feel like if your wife going down another chick is what gets you there, I don't see any problem with it. What I do see a problem with is if that's your only way of getting that excited about your wife, I would not explore like other outside things you can do. I would take a look inside and be like, okay, where do I need to go?
He fucks his wife way more after they have lesbian sex because he's fucking jealous and he's trying to win her back. It's so obvious. It's just your fucking genetic dude genes are thriving when you know that your wife has just had lesbian sex and obviously really enjoys it because she does it regularly. So now you're trying to get her to come as many times as you can to match how many times you're assuming that girl got her to come because you need to be the winner. Come on, man. This is fucking 101 shit.
There you go.
This is basic. You just need to get over it, you know? And then sex will be good depending, it doesn't matter what day it is or whether she had lesbian sex last night. Stop competing. I'm not saying go fuck a bunch of people because I'm not putting my life in it. I'm just saying it's pretty fucking obvious. The reason you're giving it to your wife really hard for a couple of days afterwards is because you're trying to get it back. You're trying to be the king of the household because you're insecure. We all are. That's why I know, because that's how I'd feel.
There you go.
Yeah.
Pretty much. We have a bunch of emails.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mike in the room. I don't know what this person's name is. I am a 36-year-old man. As of 6 months ago, when I had sex with a woman, over the course of 40 minutes of intercourse, I delivered 220 strokes. Today, I could only reach 180 strokes in that same time period. Please reply. I am worried.
Maybe he's a bad counter.
If I counted, I could stroke for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
It's pretty impossible for me to finish if I'm counting correctly.
It's like meditating, counting your breaths. It keeps your mind off.
I've done arm curls getting a blowjob, and then I've done arm curls counting, and I almost make my dick go down, like go soft, if I count the reps and strain.
My best advice would be stop counting your strokes.
I always feel like if you're counting, that's like what you do to stop yourself from coming.
Yeah, my advice is you're a fucking creep.
Yeah.
Or just strap like a Fitbit to your ass and let that do the counting.
What about if he
Good call.
strokes and picks like cereal out of the packet, each one, and then he can count the cereal, how many's in the bowl?
Oh, he's like a Rain Man of
Yes.
sex.
Yeah.
Scatter some matchsticks on the floor.
Make it more difficult, then you'll last longer.
So, by my quick math, this guy is averaging about 5 strokes per minute.
Yeah, I was about to say, it doesn't seem, by the way, like a lot of strokes.
Rather, he used to.
It,
Now he's down to about 4 strokes per minute. Now, I would like to assume that this guy is not delivering them at like a steady pace, because 40 minutes of intercourse, that's a lot of just
Pumping.
vaginal intercourse.
Sure.
Maybe not if you're only doing one every 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this guy needs to mix it up.
I really actually hope he's doing one every 15 seconds and he's like,
Or maybe he actually has like a health condition.
At this
and
pace,
he's-
I'll never hit 200. Honey, stop moving.
Maybe he's got a health condition. He's actually having 220 strokes.
Oh, that's what he's saying.
No, he delivered 220 strokes.
Oh,
She's
now,
having all.
now he's like Nate Dogg at the end. He's just like.
Too soon. Man, too soon.
That's why he emailed instead of sending a video. 'Cause you wouldn't be able to understand it.
He's like, dude.
He's like this erect Larry Flint.
Oh, I mean, that is.
Also too soon.
Dick Clark. Anyone else? Do we know?
Think Dick Clark still could get an erection when he was all slurry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't it weirdly seem like for a lot of people the boner is the last thing to go?
I think that I fully believe that it's 100% psychological.
The bone.
Yeah. I think that
So, what makes you give up a bone when you're older?
I think extreme boredom with your partner. Look, obviously there's biological stuff going on. Your testosterone's lower. I'm not
Blood flow.
There's a thing, but there's Ronnie Mund motherfuckers, and part of the reason is like they're turned on a lot, and it's like the old person that's 96 and is super lucid. It's because they didn't retire to Florida and sit in a chair all day. They're constantly going, still using their brain. And I think that there's a thing about your dick the same way.
I definitely think the fitter you are, the better you can fuck.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, the only thing that's stopping me if I'm real fit is if I'm real fit, then maybe I'm not smoking weed anymore, and that's not a good look for me because I'm like, and it's over. But the rest of it, being fit, you're fitter. You don't get tired. You can go anywhere for as long as you want.
It's odd because it doesn't seem like actual like dickhead sensitivity should be affected by that. But I feel like I've even just been doing yoga more recently, and I feel like it's improved my game.
Oh, I think that's just
Fuck it.
getting
Yoga
much
makes you
more
fitter.
getting much more in touch with your body too.
Yeah.
Yoga is so good about the body awareness, and body awareness is huge for
And
good
blood
sex,
flow
right?
too, right?
Yeah, sure.
This next question is from a lady. I am 23. I have had a pretty great / adventurous sex life over the last several years. Sex is great. I've been dating on and off, and I love giving blowjobs. Seriously, I love giving blowjobs. I give a great blowjob.
Great.
The only thing I can't get down with, no pun intended, is when a guy goes down on me. It's only happened twice. I absolutely hated both experiences. I don't know if it's an insecurity thing or if someone can actually hate receiving oral, but any advice to make it more enjoyable would be amazing.
That's weird.
Two things here. And this was a pretty common call on Loveline.
Yeah.
So I will bring it here to Fuckline. There was, and this is from not only Drew from like a biological aspect, but there was plenty of times that there were actual female sex therapists there to talk about it. It turns out women who are really multi-orgasmic oftentimes don't like guys going down or women going down on them because it's too much.
Yeah.
So that can be it.
One time I
She
licked
does
a
sound-
lady at a swinger party where she wanted me to lick her side of her vagina because it was too intense to lick the actual vagina.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, no, just a little bit more off to the side. And I was like, because I was licking her vagina on the side of the pool, like she was sitting on the side of the pool and I was in the water.
Say, oh, now do my knee.
I may as well have. At one point, I felt like I was like, and I'm like, wait, pussy's here, and you want me to lick there? I'm like, I'm licking what is that bit where your inner thigh, whatever that? I'm like, I feel like I'm kind of
Groin?
licking
the groin?
labia, but I'm also licking groin. Like it's half groin, half one lab. She's just saying that's the game, and I was like, man, this is if I have to continue licking this corner pocket, I'm out of here, man.
Maybe
Yeah,
she
and I
was
could
planning
also-
on having actual sex like 3 or 4 days from then, and she was working up to it.
Yeah, she was super. Her and her husband were super normal, so it was one of those things where the longer it went, the more apparent it was that it wasn't going to work out.
Yeah.
I could also see.
I think they were just like, "Whoa, look at this tattoo couple! I'm super buzzed and I want to fuck them." Wait a minute, you two are fucking crazy. You probably shouldn't fuck my husband. I'm like, too late.
Yeah.
Not me. I didn't do him.
I could also see how that would be weird for you being at a swinger party and you're in a pool. Like, why is that guy over there tongue darting that lady's knee?
Well, I don't think that anybody that was watching could have seen that I was not directly in the pussy, which I'm so happy I get to say that today.
Yeah. You were not actually working the speed bag?
Yes. You just saw my giant head between her legs. So I think everyone was pretty much under the impression that I was...
But if you look too closely, it's like it starts looking like Skinamax.
It would have been, yeah. If you had got your, if someone had stood over the top of her, they would have gone, "Why is he off to the side a little
Right,
bit?" Yeah.
right. It's like when, Skinamax is a great example when a guy's like pumping her belly button. And you're like,
yeah.
what are we doing?
It was
Shannon
always
Tweed simulating sex with gay men. That was the Cinemax experience.
Gene Simmons in the corner just jerking off.
What were we gonna say?
I was gonna say that also there is a much higher level of vulnerability, I think. I don't want to speak for ladies, but the idea we have a big fucking meat stick.
Yeah.
Like, you come blow me. It doesn't. There's nothing vulnerable about that. But for a woman, I think there is a thing about having someone put their mouth and face down there in comparison to just like the pelvis. So maybe there's some weird psychological thing for her. But I do think she does sound like a party. Maybe she's one of these girls that's just so sensitive. And
You don't think it's weird to just call it after only 2 blowjobs?
I mean,
To say that I no longer want any blowjobs from, and you've only had 2 blowjobs ever? Could they just be 2 duds? I mean, she's 23. How many 23-year-old dudes are like really good at cunnilingus?
right. Even if you love it, you're so aggressive at that age.
I feel like I'm still learning. I feel like I know that if I don't shave my face, then I've got to do it a different way, or I'm gonna bum somebody out.
I just have started shaving my
Your cunnilingus stash
around my lips.
Yeah, if you wait one day, then it becomes sandpapery.
Yeah.
Then if it gets a little bit longer, then it's not as intense. But you got to know what day it is when your face goes down there.
If I'm gonna get some lab,
I didn't think about that when I was 23. No fucking way.
right? If I'm gonna get lab action,
Labe action.
I have gotten to the
Good.
point where, like, if I didn't actually shave that day, I do my cunnilingus shaving. Yeah.
Right. That's why you know, if you see a guy with a big beard but he has like a reverse goatee, it's
Yeah.
just there's no mustache.
He's a
and chin.
cunnilingus fucking.
He's in
bastard.
twat paradise, or he's Khabib.
See,
Never
I've
make a
done
medal.
that.
Don't
Yeah.
talk. Just
I've
like
done that, and that's why I know that I'm not the cunnilingus 5,000 champion that I want to be, because I'd rather have a little bit of facial hair than lick pussy correctly. I look at myself with just this all shaved out, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't like it. But yeah, it is better for them for sure.
I'd much rather have Khabib's facial
You know what's
hair.
weird though? If they're stubbly and I just shave my face, how come I don't care?
Because pubes are different. I mean, your pubes are different than your head hair.
Okay.
Especially guy face hair, because it's so constantly shaved.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
fucking rough.
Okay.
and also your face skin is far less sensitive than their groin skin.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And my pubes are like Bruno Mars hair.
I'm just
Like,
happy to learn.
Wait,
stuff.
Jerry curls?
I saw your anus this morning. I can vouch for that.
Sick.
Yeah, it gets dark in there.
Here's a simple question, a classic. How can I get my wife to try new things in bed?
Don't pressure her.
Bribery.
I was gonna say pressure her.
Well, it depends on what it is.
I
right?
say do it or we're getting a divorce.
I actually have a take on that. I mean, I know you're joking, but I think that they're like, with women, when they get married, there's the guy who's pressuring a woman to go way farther than she wants to, and that's fucked up. If she's not into anal or whatever, you gotta treat her with kid gloves. But there's a lot of wives who are like, I'm not swallowing, or you know what, blowjobs are off, and you're like, wait the fuck off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think all guys, I know in like the era of Me Too, it's different. I think there's a lot of guys in relationships that think that they have to tolerate a certain level of just complete fucking cuntiness. But if that's not the case here, you can't fucking pressure a woman to do sexual shit that she doesn't want, even if it's your wife.
I can't believe we have to have this fucking discussion. Like, you can't do stuff to girls that they don't want to do. What the fuck is
Well,
wrong
maybe
with
it's
that?
not as
I know it goes both ways too. You're right, double standard.
Right.
Because chicks can fucking bitch dudes out, and some dudes depend. It's just how you raised.
There's-
if your mum fucking ran your life, then your fucking chick's probably gonna run your life.
Right, but also, like, I mean, that's total. Like,
If your dad was a
that's
dick
like
to women, you're probably a dick to women.
network sitcom accepted. Like, the wife, he's like, I'm married now. I'm not fucking you. You're the slob. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just wanted to point that out, that ethic is there. Maybe this lady is completely unreasonable. But I know what you're saying. Like, I can't believe we even have to say this. I don't think most guys are like, listen, you better fucking give me the anal or else. Yeah. I just think that, like, guys very honestly and very innocently overlook how damaging that is to a woman in comparison to a guy, where you're just constantly, like I said, not making ultimatums, just fucking pressuring them to engage in shit that they don't feel comfortable doing.
I think it goes both ways, and people, I think because there is a double standard, I think men that get pressured into things don't get any understanding at all. I feel like it's way more accepted for a woman to boss a man around than a man to boss a woman around. In this era, anyway. If you're gonna, like, yes, sitcoms and all that, we've had the power to do whatever we want in many ways. Very disgusting. There's movies and tons of proof. But these days,
yeah,
maybe it's not sexual because they don't want sex that much because they can get it when they want. But there's definitely do this, do that. I'd rather you did this. I'd rather you do that, and you do it even when you don't want to do it. I mean, it's not, oh man, I can't believe all those years where I did what she wanted me to do. I've had that in a couple of relationships. When I look back on it, I'm not proud of it.
Sure.
I'm not proud that I was like, okay, sounds good, I'll do it. But it's different than when someone's like, suck that dick. And you're like, I don't want to suck that dick. Yeah. And you're like, wait, you forced her to suck that dick? You're a fucking rapist. But if you force me to, I don't know, wear different stuff, stop hanging out with a certain person, shit like that,
yeah,
where, you know, don't hang out with this person or don't, yeah, and it could be a boss, could be a career thing where you could have jeopardized your career, but she don't fucking like that guy. I mean, you're getting bitched out as you're being told what to do. You've been put in your place as well.
Yeah.
It's a psychological thing
and also,
that's happening.
This guy did leave the question pretty vague.
Mm-hmm.
He just said, how can I get my wife to try new things in bed? So it could be innocent things like, maybe he's not trying to force his wife into anal fisting, but maybe he wants to try like role playing,
69 or something.
69, or maybe he wants something shoved up his butt.
I just feel like,
and in that case, it's, I don't know. I feel like it just pays to be direct. Like, hey, will you shove this cactus up my ass?
When they say no, there's no like, let me call a show and then they have a different approach to it. Because I've been here. If they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it.
I've
that's the end of it.
Had success with going farther than I thought I would with a woman.
Yeah.
By doing one thing, and that was getting them so relaxed and turned on that they wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I have been the guy where someone didn't want to do anal, for instance, and I was like, "Oh, come on!" I wasn't pressured, but I was like, "Fucking, it's pretty cool. Like, just get used to it." Yeah. And that never ends up working. What ends up working is not making any fuss about anything and just being so into them, going down on them a lot, you know, just being that a really high percentage of the time they'll be like, we should do this now.
I mean, some people just really don't want to do certain things, though. You know, like Kevin doesn't want to do butt stuff. Doesn't matter what girl it is. Doesn't matter how hot he gets. He'd really rather not do that. Fucking good for you.
Give me 5 minutes alone.
I know Kevin would so totally do butt stuff.
So you can't say that.
You guys are a bunch of fucking ghouls.
I don't know why we're ghouls for. I'm with you. I think if you don't want to do butt stuff and you know that, I think that to be factual. Like, I think you're not Artie Lang, but he reminds me of someone who I don't know for sure. I don't live in your fucking pants, but I believe Artie Lang really doesn't want to do any gay stuff. I think he's super hetero, and if you got any fruity stuff near him, he'd be pretty bummed out. And I think he's the same way.
Hey, I'm a guy who fucking reads comics. I'm not too worried about looking hetero. I just don't enjoy the sensation of things in my butt.
Oh, you've already told us. I know, and I believe it 1,000%. And I don't care who it is. Jessica Alba, doesn't matter how many champagnes. I don't believe. I think would he go for it if some hot celebrity got him drunk and was like, "I just need to lick your ass."
Yeah.
He would do it. But would he? That's the other thing. Some people forced to let them lick your anus. That can end up being a mental scarring thing
forever
that you don't recover from. Some people just go, I don't think him, and it'd be different. It's like an old homeless man put a gun to his head and said, "I'm gonna lick your anus."
I hate that
And
scenario.
5 minutes before that, I would have told you that was the worst thing that could have happened to me.
He thought that the Jessica
And yet-
Alba licking his anus was going to be a bad night.
And yet, dear Penthouse,
That one would fuck with him. I bet you
Yeah.
he'd have a lot of drinks for a couple of years about that one. But if it was Jessica Alba going, come on, what's the harm? He probably wouldn't even have one nightmare about it. Would he now be an anus fiend? No, he
No.
wouldn't.
I got to be honest. I'm pretty wild, pretty open.
Yeah.
A homeless man putting a gun to my head and demanding to lick my ass would scar me forever. I would be.
Dude, I would
what
go.
about if you're role playing with your wife and she hangs out in an alley for a couple of hours?
We got a lot of got a lot of motivation there in Venice. She could just take a.
That's
I hate
right.
to bum that guy out that zoomed in before with my lifestyle, but if a homeless man held a gun to me and licked my anus, afterwards I would go like get some donuts or something. Go home, have a shower, maybe.
Yeah, at least he didn't take my wallet.
Yeah, no, I'd be there you go, that's where I live. I'd be way more pissed if he took my wallet. I'd be like, whatever, lick my anus.
Next question. My girlfriend and I have been dating for just about a year now. I have a smaller than average penis.
Attaboy.
3.5 inches erect. And even though she says she doesn't mind the size, I know the guy she dated before me had an above average penis, and it makes me feel insecure. She swears up and down she has no problem with the size of my penis, but I can't force myself to believe her. It's always at the forefront of my thoughts when we have sex. How can I get over this?
You can develop big dick energy without a big dick. And I think that's the best thing you can do. I also think, I know there's a certain level of size mattering, but for the most part, I'll tell you, this is very true. We probably took 75 to 100 calls of my boyfriend and husband or husband is too big. Constantly, that was a problem for women. I can think of once where a girl called in and said like he's just too small, and he had like literal micro dick.
Yeah.
I think for the ladies, I don't want to speak for the ladies, but I think a lot more of it is about your sexual personality and how much you're into them than it is about dick size.
3.5 inches.
It's small. It's not big, but
Wait till they get a load of me.
Could this man go and like see a hypnotist and the guy tricks him into thinking he has a big dick, and then it's never a problem?
Could this
I don't
man
know if
lose
he
like
needs-
80 or 90 pounds? It would
Yeah.
make his dick look
Oh,
bigger.
right. Is he a big fat person?
That makes a
With little
difference.
dick? You're right. It
Makes
could be
a
a skinny
difference.
person with a little dick, and that's less offensive, I guess.
You don't lose weight in the dick.
What about if he went and got somebody to convince him that it's not a big deal to have a little dick? That'd probably be a better thing to give him.
but his girlfriend's trying.
You don't want to live in a false reality where all of a sudden you're like, hey, guys, you ever seen a fucking hog? Or
No,
have you
no,
ever
no,
seen
no.
a hog? And they're like, whoa, dude, you have a micro penis.
Yeah, you don't wanna be that
no,
guy.
it's a fucking hog, you morons. Look
It's
at
like
this thing.
a shallow
Hey,
Hal for micro dicks.
he's like, yeah, and he's just like showing people, hey, you guys want to know what time it is? He got like a weird little micro knob on the side of his wrist and he's showing everybody. Everyone's like, dude, stop. You know what I just realized? I don't know how a little dick or a big dick gets to be like better or less offensive to your friends when you keep pulling it out. You know what I mean? Like if you've got a giant hog and you keep pulling it out, I'm getting annoyed. If you had a little dick and you kept pulling it out, I'd be getting annoyed. I'd be like, why do you keep pulling your dick out?
I don't know, that might be kind of funny. If I had one friend with just the tiniest dick in the world and he
I
always
agree.
whipped it out, that would be pretty funny.
I agree.
I had that friend.
And he pulled it out.
Yeah.
Was it as awesome as I
Good
think
for
it would be?
him.
We were pretty young. It was like it was like a puberty era kind of thing where I think the guy was aware, like, I think everybody else's is maturing and mine kind of isn't.
Oh,
And
so
then
it
he-
might have grown later.
I don't think so.
Ah.
And then he kind of leaned into the joke, and it became kind of he'd pull down his pants and flash it to you.
I had a friend like all the way through high school, and he had a teeny dick, and he was a big guy. He was like 6'4", really an amazing
That makes
athlete.
it tough.
And he had a teeny dick, and he used to like be. We were. I'm sure you guys are. Maybe Jason's different in Australia, but I'm not from the era where we showered after practice and stuff. Like
Same
that
here.
that did not happen. I know it happened in generations past. This guy was always getting naked and taking a shower after football practice. He would come out and helicopter his little dick, and there was something like really. I thought like it was actually A, funny, and B, I was like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like that guy does well with the ladies. Because I don't know Katie for sure, because you got a vagina, but I know Katie's maid like she likes big dicks, but I'm like, whatever. Or you chicks like to say shit like that. There is a certain size where it can't get the job done.
Right.
And I don't know if that dude's saying he has 3.5 when it's soft, but if he's 3.5 when he's hard, does that get the job done?
I think it can. Again,
It would have to be
want
thicker,
Katie's
right?
opinion. The thickness, and also I think like most women, not all, but most women are really looking for clitoral stimulation anyway. So
Yeah.
if you got a good motion
It's
to the
little,
ocean,
but I feel like I've seen ones where it's little because it's little all the way round. Like it's not a normal dick that's short. It's a really little dick. It has little balls and a little penis. So it's not, it's skinny and it's small.
yeah,
And I don't know. I don't have a vagina. I feel like there's a lot of gusto there. Like the guy you're talking about, that guy's, it's as long as it's still a dick of some. We all know what a vagina is, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to get it.
I'm not familiar. No.
There's a certain amount you think you got to get in before you're massaging the whole thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If your dick's this long, I know that there's more. They've got more in there that has nerve endings than just this bit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I feel like you get about past here, and then it feels like you're in this little no man's area past here where she could deal with that. You know what I mean? When you get past here, now you're just making everything difficult. But I feel like there's this much area you got to go in and out of.
I feel like that's
for her to get off.
That's
and that
about
is
3.5. Yeah.
Is it?
I'm
Yeah, but can you get the whole entire thing, and can you get surface to surface?
And I still haven't put in the side angle of this. If this is a 3.5 that's this narrow, then it's not going to rub the sides the way that other people's penises do. So if it's got to be, if it's this, then it's got to be at least have some sort of, it's got to open the vagina.
I think iPhones
This is
are.
a great show.
I think iPhones are 5.
I think you're right.
So
Right, so 5.25 is the average. So that tells me everybody's happy with that amount of dick, but it's the girth.
yeah.
Honestly, I don't know really.
That's why micro dicks don't work, because it's
Yeah.
both. It's compacted all the way around.
Oh.
I'm not laughing. I'm
no.
trying to explain it.
I knew a girl, like when I was in college, who had a boyfriend that apparently she confided to me had a really small dick, and she's like, oh, but he's like amazing with his mouth. Okay, great. If you have a small dick, you need to make it your business to be really, really good at that. And I'm sure that there's times where you can go, oh, well, you
What
use
about lesbians, dude?
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
right.
some people, if you lick it right, I feel like that is your sex. Like, I don't think, you could put a strap on
Yeah.
if you had a little dick. Like, lesbians that stay together for years and years. I've got lesbian friends that are married that have a great sex life.
Yeah.
And not either one of them has a penis. I've seen it.
I also think there's really good tools to thicken the cock. You know, oftentimes guys are thinking about like
a pump or something?
No, it's like a buffer that goes around like a washer. I've seen that. It's like a sleeve. That
Like a
guys,
koozie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it would probably help.
Right. Yeah, so there's ways around it.
Well, look, my point is this. I'm sure that there's things you can do with your mouth that are awesome, and she can use a vibrator while you're doing stuff, and you can use your dick koozie, and all that stuff is great. At the end of the day, she maybe did enjoy the full gamut of things that were available to her with her ex-boyfriend that you don't bring to the table. But the reality of human relationships, especially monogamous ones, is that nobody is perfect, and everybody has pluses and minuses, and she broke up with the guy who had a better dick than you.
2 words. Childo. I think it might be one
Childo.
word. But if you have a childo, if done correctly, cannot be defeated.
Is it normal to pass gas during orgasm?
Yeah.
Totally, right? Can we all agree?
Only one time in my life has that happened. It was in front of 2 people. Boy, was that embarrassing.
I don't know if I have that. I can't recall ever doing that.
You literally
fart
can't
jizz?
spell orgasm without gas.
You haven't fart jizz before?
I can't recall doing that. I'm pretty sure I'd remember.
Yeah. It was super
Shooting.
embarrassing.
I farted during sex.
I think I might have fart jizzed a couple times in my life, actually.
Did they stink?
No. That doesn't make any difference. If
Yeah,
it's
it
a
kinda
quiet,
does.
if it's a quiet fart jizz, then sure, no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
But one time, 2 people jerking me off and I farted when I jizzed. And I didn't know either, so it was like kind of loud.
Oh no, it was the chair.
It caught me, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like I was just like, yeah, I'm going to jizz, just
It's
like I
like
always do. And then all of a sudden,
It's like
and I'm like,
sneezing.
no.
It's like sneezing and peeing a little bit.
And they both were like, oh. I'm like, oh, man.
Should have blamed it on your penis. It's like, yeah, it has sound effects.
Oh yeah, it's my dick queef.
Yeah, it was bad. It's a bad day.
So no, it is not normal to habitually pass gas during
Oh,
orgasm.
to do it every time? That seems off.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there anything that can be done about that? I doubt
Put a
it.
plug in your ass?
He's got a loose booty.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say also change your diet.
Yeah, that's
Just
probably it,
make
right?
yourself not a farter.
Yeah.
That's really worked for me.
Yeah, take
Yeah.
a Beano pill.
Take
Right.
a
Don't they
huge
stop
shit
farts?
before you have sex.
Rectal Kegels.
Much
Ooh.
like burping, farting is a sign that things aren't necessarily okay in your
Yeah.
tummy. You know, so
Or you could wedge
Tell that to vegans.
you can wedge a
That's a good
hand
point.
towel in your ass crack to muffle the sound.
Put a hand towel in your anus before you have sex.
guy is-
Problem solved.
The
Butt
butt's
silencer.
all about fart mufflers.
fart muffles, like the thing they put in the trumpet.
If you fart with a butt plug in your ass, do you hear it?
Does it make a sound?
Does it shoot out?
I shot a butt plug out of my ass once.
Sick.
Got it on video.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm done with that.
Are they going to splice that into this podcast?
I can put it in. It's just as bad as the angle I got of you with the fucking Coke bottle. You don't see my hole, but you know what the fuck's up. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you pretty much know what's up with what I did earlier.
It looked cool, man, because the Coke turns into like this brown waterfall
Yeah.
shooting up your brown ass. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool. It's like
Thanks.
artsy.
Look great in slow-mo.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
We have time for
Should have got a
couple more, I
photographer.
think.
'Cause that's like we could all do things with our anuses. I'll do my construction, and you got the Coke up your ass, and we'll have a calendar. Jason Ellis Show calendar.
Yep. Somebody get Annie Leibovitz on the phone.
Who?
She's like the photographer that does all the covers for Vanity Fair.
If you're a big
That's who we
celebrity or
need.
like a Manhattan socialite,
Yeah.
Annie Leibovitz takes your picture.
That's who should come to the house, and we'll show her our anuses.
Let me see. So that was farting during orgasm. Meanwhile,
We don't have that many friends. I just realized we're gonna have to do a lot of
We're gonna do
our own stunts.
Yeah, we
Well,
might-
let's see. There's 4 of us, so we could each take 3 months.
Yes.
and we can make a
men,
awesome.
men for all seasons.
Yeah,
I'll just pretend I'm Will. Don't worry about it.
Dickie shorts.
Just shoot me in the anus. Don't worry. I'll take care of the rest.
Let me see. This is not farting, but on the other side of the perineum, this woman asks, I need some help with keeping myself from queefing during sex. I've noticed it happens in many different positions and happens frequently.
That's just the angles. That's not her fault.
If
That's
it was
like
once in a while, I'd be able to handle, but I queef way too often where it can ruin the mood and make me feel self-conscious.
Kevin's hard. That's first off. But secondly, I don't want to speak for all of us, but I'm pretty sure guys don't give a shit.
Constant queefing. It's not ideal.
I feel like when you hit a
guess.
pocket where you're making the queef, everybody switches position.
Yeah.
You don't stay in the queef pocket and keep fart fucking.
It sounds like all she has is the queef pocket.
See, I don't believe that.
Stay in the queef pocket.
You know,
Queef pocket.
you get it if you get like you got to get out. After the third queef, you're like, okay, don't thrust it back in that same angle. You're now you're doing pussy fart trumpets. You got to get out of there.
Right.
So you got to get it. Yeah, you got to switch up the angle.
I gotta be. I've never done constant queefing. I've never had that, but I
That
just
was a Katie Lang song, right?
But I also don't. I don't know. I can't foresee it. If I'm really into a girl, I can't foresee it being like a big deal. That's just.
Oh,
no,
no,
it's not a big deal.
It's
but-
not ending, but if it was a fart, let's say I'm fucking for 20 minutes and every thrust comes with a fart.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
I've definitely changed positions several times to try to stop this thing from continuing because that sounds crazy.
It does.
I've never seen that before.
No, nor have I.
She could definitely get an OnlyFans account if that is a factual thing.
Oh, she'd be huge.
She'd be huge.
Yeah.
If you could make her fart on every pump,
Queen Laquifa.
get somebody to play her pussy, like make a song.
Yep, constant queefing. The Katie Lang classic. How can I tell if my wife is faking?
She is sometimes.
If you
Yeah.
think that's definitely happening.
Yeah, if you have to ask that question, you already know the answer.
Yeah.
Right, it's like the thing if you think a guy's on steroids, the odds are he is.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't think like when I'm inside, it's harder, but it's pretty easy to tell a real one when you're going down on a girl. I mean, you get like kind of body feedback. You get body feedback.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but women are duplicitous.
It's true.
Sometimes
Shiesty bitches.
they do like quiet ones.
Yeah, that's
You know?
true.
Sometimes the loud ones are the fake ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like porn ones, a lot. I'm like, well, she did not come.
Yeah.
You know, you just
And I
say
think
it.
And I think for sure. And I think also there can be little ones that guys can't really relate to.
Yeah.
Like you can get to it and you get over the hump and you are kind of starting back from ground zero and you didn't maybe get the big explosion that you were expecting.
Good point. Yeah.
That was, for now, that was the orgasm.
I try to stay in the insecure pocket, so I always feel like if I for sure know that I'm doing well, I'm doing well. Everything else is all fake.
One more question. Is it okay if her nursing turns both of us on?
Wait, the kid is involved?
No, I just think that maybe they both think it's hot that she's nursing, so maybe he wants to do some nursing play later on, and she's like, I thought you'd never ask.
I think it's...
Oh, he's going to drink milk.
I know as much as you do, but it's not that he's turned on by the nursing thing. He's saying both of us are turned on by the nursing thing, and yes, she recently had a child.
I think it's awesome. I think they should really lean into that.
Yeah, it's pretty hippie to be into some, baby making fat tits, but like Catherwood said, I respect that. If you're finding your wife to be sexy doing stuff that doesn't hurt anybody, then you win.
I just have heard so many fucking assholes who, when their wife has a baby, and they're like, "Oh, it's like gross beef down there. I don't even want to." And you're like, "Dude, like, so I the idea of now that she's a mother, you get more turned on." I'd be like, "Man, that sounds like a win-win,"
Yeah, all pregnant women can get it.
Yep.
What's up?
Yep. I try to be as sex positive as possible. I think it's the only way to be. There's no reason not to be. All that having been said, it's great that they're both into it, but if my wife had decided she was really, really into that and I wasn't, I would have found that a bit off-putting. If she'd been like, come on, don't you think it's kind of sexy that I'm nurturing another human being? Don't you want to get into this?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I want to yes and everything that you bring to the table. I appreciate the attitude, but no.
Sure. I agree. It'd be rough,
Yeah. So I'm just glad they both like that.
That it?
Nurse on.
Nurse on.
Freak man. Yes.
That's it? We've covered it all?
I think so, yeah.
Pretty good sesh.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/AliceMate, and on YouTube, like Kevin said, because you really should see Mike's anus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's worth it. See you next week. Don't die.
Bing, boing, poing, 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 poing. Boing, 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 boing. Meow, 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 fucking meow, meow. Big fat boy, fucking boy, big fat boy. Fucking boy, bing boing boy, fucking boy. Bing boing big fat boy, fucking boy.